Remember the old days when you were able to go to a video store, pick out a movie, come home, pop it in, not knowing what to expect, but you rented it or you bought it? I'm talking about VHS, y'all. So I was barely born in the 90s. I was born in 1997, but I grew up with VHS. I was that person, that kid that recorded everything on TV. I had so many recorded VHS tapes of shows and movies and everything in between. But I still have a chunk of my VHS collection. So I wanted to show you guys what I still have in my VHS collection. A lot of it has been slimmed down. We have gotten rid of a lot over the years. So unfortunately, there's a handful that I remember that we don't have anymore, and I'm a little sad about that. But we still have some classics. So this is in no particular order. I just have a bunch here. And this does not include the VHS tapes in my Scooby-Doo collection. If you want to know what's in there, then go check out my latest Scooby-Doo DVD collection. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of jump in. I'm gonna show you what I have. Okay, first pile, because I kind of have them in little weird piles, but this is the Land Before Time pile. So we have the original Land Before Time. This is the first movie, the big one, the OG. So yeah, this is the OG Land Before Time. This one always made me cry when I was younger. Yeah. All right, then we have the Land Before Time 2, The Great Valley Adventure. This one I don't remember as much. I remember it, but not like, this one's not as prominent in my brain as some of the other Land Before Times. And I've seen all of the Land Before Time movies. They were some of my favorites growing up, which kind of makes sense now that Jurassic Park is one of my favorite movie franchises. And we have the Land Before Time 4. This is Journey Through the Mist. This is another one I don't totally remember. Like, I remember bits and pieces, but it's not one that's as prominent in my brain. I do know that at one point I had all the Land Before Time movies, so I don't know what's happened to number 3. This is number 3. Then we have the Land Before Time 5, The Mysterious Island. This is one that I remember a lot more. This is the one with the song Big, 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 Big Water. Yeah, if you guys remember that classic of a bop.
Big, 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 big water.
And we have the Land Before Time 8, The Big Freeze. This is another one I remember a lot. They played this one on Cartoon Network a ton. I don't know why specifically this one, but it do be what it do be. This is the Land Before Time 9, Journey to the Big Water, which, you know, kind of goes back to number 5, which I thought was cool. So this one, again, I don't remember this one as much, but I do remember the fish. I remember the fish that they were going to see, that they meet and take back to the big water. Then this is number Oh wait, this is number 3. This is number 3. Whoopsies. This is not the cover I'm used to for number 3, but I remember this one. We had the 3 like punk kid dinosaurs, which I thought was funny. So there's that one. Those are all the ones I still have on VHS of the Land Before Time. Okay, this next pile is kind of a mixture. Again, all of this is kind of a mixture, but we have the original Ice Age. Oh my gosh, this is the one I remember watching the most of all of them. I've seen up through 4. I don't think I ever watched the 5th, but this one also would make me cry as a kid at times. I'm not ashamed to admit that. All right, then we have Monsters, Inc. I remember watching this movie on VHS the most, like especially of the Pixar movies. This is the one, and this is the cool one with the blue VHS tape. Y'all, it's cool when they colored them. And then it had like a whole poster inside. So I always thought this was such a cool case and VHS tape itself. All right, next we have Hercules. This is a movie I never watched a whole lot as a kid, but again, my memories with it I do remember watching it on VHS. And apparently we still have this one. We actually have a handful of our Disneys still. Okay, next. Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2. I actually really liked Winnie the Pooh growing up. I had a handful of VHS tapes. One of the most prominent ones was actually about like the Old West and a train, but we don't have that VHS anymore, but we have this one still. Okay, next we still have Toy Story 2 on VHS. I'm surprised we don't have the first Toy Story still, but we have the second one on VHS. I remember watching this one the most of all the Toy Story movies. It included bonus features apparently, which is kind of funny when they would include bonus features on a VHS tape. Like usually they were either before the movie or at the end of the movie. Okay, then we have Pocahontas. This is not a movie I really remember watching all that much. Like, I know I've seen it, but I don't remember watching it all that much. Honestly, my most prominent memory is watching it in school. We still have our original Shrek VHS. This was like a big case. I don't know like if it was just meant to be that way or if there was something special in here. It says special edition video cassette. So, but yeah, we have our original Shrek VHS here. That's funny. And then we have Shrek 2 on VHS. I remember getting this one still. We didn't have a DVD player quite yet. We got it on VHS. I remember seeing both versions, the VHS and the DVD, but we got the VHS version. Says all new surprise ending, Far Far Away Idol, created exclusively for the video. Your favorite characters battle out in this hilarious spoof, a singer's showdown with 11 hit songs. So yeah, I remember that being on the DVD and like you could pick who you wanted to vote for, but on the VHS, you didn't. Okay, we have Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I remember at one point I had all three of these movies because this was the third. There was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, and then Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. And at one point we had all three, but this is the only one we still have anymore. Okay, now this is funny because I recently found this at a thrift store on DVD, but this is Freaky Friday. We still have the original VHS for this version of Freaky Friday. This is the only one I've seen, the oldest one I should say, because I own and saw the new Disney Channel musical version. But this is when they had the blue cap up here, whatever you called this up here. It was like when they had that blue cap, you knew like it was a newer VHS. At least to me, that signified, oh, it's a new edition VHS, like their new release. I don't know. Next, we have Atlantis: The Lost Empire. I really don't remember watching this movie all that much, and I really don't remember that much of the movie at all, but I do remember having the VHS, and maybe I need to rewatch it. Maybe it's time to rewatch it. But, oh, look, it has another blue cap. Okay, we have our first, like, classic Christmas movie. This is Jingle All the Way. I remember watching this as a kid on VHS. I now have it on DVD, so it's about time I rewatch it, but because I have not seen this movie for a hot minute. But I do remember watching this one as a kid on this VHS. Okay, this next pile is some really old movies. Some, but some are also newer movies. It's an interesting pile. Again, I threw these together just like... Okay, the first one we have is The Barefoot Executive. At one point, my dad was showing me these old movies that he liked as a kid. And so a lot of these, most of these I've seen and remember finding these VHS and watching them. Next is The Love Bug, the original Herbie movie. If anybody has seen this. Because then they made another Herbie movie with Lindsay Lohan called Herbie Fully Loaded. we have the Shaggy Dog, the original Shaggy Dog, not the one with Tim Allen, which I have actually never seen that version of it. I've seen this one, not the newer one. And it says on the front, in glorious black and white. Then we have the Shaggy DA, another film in this series, which again, I've seen all of these. I couldn't tell you a whole lot about them, but I do remember watching all these at one point. Oh, what's in here? Oh, there's little adverts in here. Wait, this is funny. Here's the VHS first. Then we had a limited to save 15% on your entire LDD2 purchase. Okay. When did this expire? In 2002. It ended in 2002 or 2003. Okay. Then we have a March Home with some of the greatest films ever created. Disney Masterpiece Collection. And then it has The Sword and the Stone, Dumbo. I have that Dumbo. That one's coming up. Bambi. I have Bambi, but not that version. Oh, it opens all the way. Robin Hood. I have Robin Hood, but not that version. Alice in Wonderland. It's one of my favorite movies. Winnie the Pooh, Pocahontas. The Aristocats. We don't have my original VHS of Aristocats. I'm sad. Oliver and Company. The Three Caballeros. Caballeros. Wow. Mary Poppins, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Pete's Dragon. So Dear to My Heart. Coming to video, March 4th, 97. Wow, this is an old advert. Does it say the year anywhere? April 30th, 1997. I was not quite born, but it is my year. That's funny that there's an advert in here still. Okay, next we have That Darn Cat. Another oldie Disney movie. I don't know if I've watched this one, to be honest. Or if I have, it was only like one time. This is not one that I remember all that much, to be honest. Then we have Herbie Rides Again, another film in the Herbie series. So, you know, I've seen all these Herbie movies. I have seen all of them, including, you know, the Lindsay Lohan one. All right, next is a Christmas classic. We have How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original cartoon. Oh my goodness, do you guys remember? Oh, and it also includes Horton Hears a Who, apparently. Says here on the front. This is probably my favorite version of the Grinch. Next we have Runaway Ralph. This was based on some books, and what's funny is I had the other movies besides just this one, because there was like Ralph S. Mouse, and I swear there was one more. But I had all of these movies at one point, and at one time in school we were reading the books, and I told my teacher I had the movies, and she asked me to bring them, so I brought them to school and we watched all the movies after we read the books. Thanks to yours truly. Okay, next is a movie I have not seen forever. Big Fat Liar. Does anybody remember this movie? Interesting, it was a black case. It's always fun when they do little colored differentiations. But this was my sister's movie. It's just ended up here. So, you know, I need to try watching it. There's an advert in here too, a little mail thing for Disney. I don't know why it's in here, but I'm leaving it in there. All right, next we have The Lion King 1.5. I remember getting this one. I went to go see Brother Bear with my dad, and then afterwards we went and picked up this movie as well. So funny memories from these VHSs. All right, this is one we were actually talking about in recent streams. This is Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True. I remember this movie so well. Like, I remember Cinderella 2 way better than Cinderella 1. And I don't know why we don't have our original Cinderella movie. We just have the second one. Oh, this is another one I remember really well. The Jungle Book 2. This one, funny enough, with the story behind this, I found this hiding in our office drawer. My dad was hiding it to surprise us, but I accidentally found it, and then we watched it. This is a Winnie the Pooh I remember so vividly. Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. This movie was scary, y'all. They were going to Skull Island, remember? Because they were trying to find Christopher Robin when he said he was going to school, and they thought he said skull. This movie was scary, but I remember it so vividly. Then we have The Little Mermaid 2, Return to the Sea. I remember enjoying this one more than the original, but again, I'm kind of a sequel person, so I remember this movie a lot more than the original Little Mermaid. Next, we have a Goofy movie. I know this is a classic for so many people. So many people love a Goofy movie. Not gonna lie, couldn't get into it as much. I think this was bought through like a rental service or something. I don't know, because it has the please rewind. And do you remember the sayings that they would say, like, be kind, rewind, or something? Next we have Aladdin and the King of Thieves. I don't know which Aladdin this is, 2 or 3, but I know at one point we had all 3 Aladdin movies. So again, I don't know which one this one is, but we still have this Aladdin on VHS. Then we have The Hunchback. I do not remember this movie. Do not remember it at all. I could not tell you what happens in this movie. But we have the VHS of it. This is part of the Masterpiece Collection, apparently. Then we have The Return of Jafar, so another Aladdin movie. Again, I don't know which one this is, but another Aladdin on VHS. It was only, how long was it? It was only 66 minutes long, so it was only an hour and 6 minutes. It was a very short one. And we have The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. I remember this one vaguely, but maybe it's just because we have the VHS of it. We had the original Lion King as well at one point. Okay, now we have some odd ones. This is The Singles Ward, which is like a Mormon movie. I don't know. I never watched it. It is what it is. It is what it is. We have Curious George Goes to the Hospital. I got this from, I think, one of my nurses that I had when I was a kid, and I remember this so vividly. He eats a puzzle piece. Curious George eats a puzzle piece, so they have to go to the doctor to figure out why he's not feeling good. And then they discover he ate a puzzle piece, and the man in the yellow hat is like, that's where my puzzle piece went. And then there were 2 other cartoons, one called Mouse Soup and another called Uncle Elephant, and they were honestly creepy. Like, they weren't cute. They were creepy. Next we have one of my deep memories that whenever I bring it up, people are like, that didn't exist. And I'm like, I have proof. I have proof right here. It did. This, the original How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And remember, the Grinch was never green. He was never green, not even in the book. Because this is basically the book just read to you through animated pictures. Y'all, whenever I bring this up, people are like, what? And I'm like, it exists. Thank you very much. Case point. I have no idea what this is. This is the Christmas box. Couldn't tell you anything about it. Couldn't tell you what it's about besides a box. And that's Christmas time. Okay, now we're getting into some classics. We have Dumbo, like I mentioned earlier, that I had the original Dumbo. So I remember finding this one. I believe we got this at a thrift store at one point. But yeah, original Dumbo. We have Sleeping Beauty. This was a re-release of it because it says fully restored, limited edition. And on the back it says approximately 15 minutes of bonus programming plus special special booklet. Can't read. I can't read. Next we have 101 Dalmatians. This movie is, oh my goodness. This VHS in general is the picture and just what I think of when people are like 101 Dalmatians. I'm like, this VHS right here. All right, we have the original Bambi. We also have Bambi 2 on DVD. Wow, you can tell this is an old VHS. We have Beauty and the Beast. The OG Beauty and the Beast. This is another really old VHS. All right, we have the original Little Mermaid. So we have both Little Mermaid movies. I think there is a third Little Mermaid, but I never saw that. Oh, this is another old one. Oh, it's funny looking at these. The Fox and the Hound. Okay, funny story about this one. When we moved, we could not find the VHS tape. We only had the case. And so we went to a thrift store and actually found the VHS. And ta-ta! So it's not our original VHS tape, but you know what? It works. Oh, then Robin Hood. I remember getting this one. We were visiting my grandparents, and my dad picked this up for us to watch, and we all watched it together, and we were laughing so much at the beginning when it was like, do 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 do. Do you guys remember that? The tune at the beginning of Robin Hood? Oh, I remember this movie very well. Okay, now we're getting into random ones, which not that any of these have been cohesive to anything. We have a really damaged old Disney cartoon called Here's Pluto. This is Cartoon Classics Volume 5, apparently. It is really, really beat up, but it do be what it do be. Yeah, it just was like a half hour of old cartoons of Pluto. I found this at a thrift store, I believe. Then we have The Absent-Minded Professor. This is the original Flubber. If you guys know what Flubber is with Robin Williams, this is the original movie of it. So Flubber was based off of this. And I remember when we found this at the thrift store, it was still sealed. I remember we opened this for the first time, which is kind of funny. And we have the original Lady and the Tramp. I don't know why it's in this type of case. I don't know if we, did we steal it? Did we buy it from something? I don't know. This is a really old tape too. I don't know why our Lady and the Tramp is this way, but it is. We have The Pebble and the Penguin. I do not remember this. I remember the case and everything, but I don't remember what the movie's about. I couldn't tell you anything about the movie. Oh boy, I'm about to out myself. So when I was really, really little, I was really, really into Barney. And so I had a bunch of Barney tapes. I don't have most of them anymore, but I had a bunch. We still have a few. So this is Barney, What a World We Share. I remember all the Barney tapes were white. They were so cool. They were white. Yeah, they went to Canada and Mexico and France. Now this we don't have the original case for, but it is Winnie the Pooh, The Great Honey Pot Robbery. Again, going back to my Winnie the Pooh days. Okay, we have another random Disney shorts. This is Goofy Over Sports. So this was about 46 minutes, and it's, again, just a bunch of Goofy shorts about sports, I guess? I don't remember this one a whole lot. Oh, wow. Wow. This is a really old tape and the sticker's coming off. I need to tape it or something, but yeah. Holy crap, can you guys see how old this is? And very well used, apparently, too. Barney, Walk Around the Block with Barney, but that's not what's actually in here. What's actually in here is Let's Play School, which I remember this one, too. So we don't have the tape of this one, but we don't have the case of this one. All right, we have Mrs. Doubtfire, the original VHS of this film. Oh my gosh. I have not seen this movie in ages. Oh, that was cool. So one side is Robin Williams, and then the other side is him as Mrs. Doubtfire. I see what you did there. All right, we have Willie the Sparrow. I vaguely remember this movie. I don't know what it's about necessarily, but like I remember the animation of this movie. It's like a sparrow got bullied or something. Again, I couldn't tell you much about it, but I remember the animation. All right, we have Rugrats All Grown Up VHS. I think it had like 2 episodes. It had 2 episodes on here, which were Susie Sings the Blues and Coupe de Ville. All right, about 47 minutes of Rugrats All Grown Up. Interesting. This one I remember so vividly. I've not watched it in ages, but The Snowman. Do you guys remember? Has anybody seen this? Where the little boy makes a snowman and the snowman like takes him out on a night, on a party, like a snowman party, and they have fun, and then like the kid's like, oh my gosh, was it all a dream? It's like Frosty in a way, but just for one kid, and he's like, was it all a dream? Like, did anybody else ever watch this? I remember this so vividly. I need to rewatch this. Okay, we're on the last pile of VHS tapes, so here we go. We have this box set of holiday classics. So this had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It had Frosty the Snowman. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And The Little Drummer Boy. So yeah, this is a box set I grew up with as a kid, and it had all the classics in here. This is how I watched these original classics. You know, if they weren't on TV, like either on TV or through this box set. And we still have this box set here of them all, which is funny. All right, the Wild Thornberrys movie. I remember getting this movie. My sister and I were having a conjoined birthday party, and my dad went and picked up this movie for us to watch during the party. I remember randomly. So I don't really remember a whole lot of this movie, but apparently we own it. Okay, now I just have the case. I don't know where the VHS is, but for Hocus Pocus, the original Hocus Pocus, says also available on Disney DVD. So they were trying to move on to DVD here, it seems like, which is funny. Next we have The Indian in the Cupboard. This is actually a cool VHS because so it has like a key slot, and it looks like it came with like a key and an Indian and whatever. But I believe, so there's that. I believe, yeah. So on the inside, you could flip this cover over, and then it would look like a little box cupboard. So like it shows on the back there. So yeah. Anyway, I remember this was like a cool thing, you know, with it. And finally, we have Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy 3. I had a bunch of Goosebumps on VHS, like a ton of them. I don't know what happened to them. I guess we gave a bunch of those away, but we randomly still have Night of the Living Dummy 3. It says based on book number 40, which I thought was cool. Yeah, I used to collect the Goosebumps VHS tapes, like from a thrift store. So I had a bunch of them. And now I have a handful of them on DVD. I actually have quite a few on DVD, but this is the last remaining one I have on VHS. I remember their cases were always like, I believe most of them were purple. Some might have been like green or something, but I lied. I have one more little pile to show you, some VHS tapes. How could I forget my few Hanna-Barbera VHS tapes I have? So here we go. We have the Flintstones Comedy Show 2. So this had Gold Fever, Bedrock Museum, Circles and Squares, Night on the Town. Yeah, I don't really remember this VHS tape much, and it has nothing on here. I don't know if the sticker just came off or if nothing was ever printed on it. It looks like the sticker came off. But there is that. Then we have Yogi Bear and the Magical Flight of the Spruce Goose, an all-new full-length animated movie. Oh my gosh, I remember these VHS, finding these at thrift store. This was only 50 cents. This was 50 cents. Oh, this one has the sticker. Yeah, this Yogi Bear movie with a bunch of other Hanna-Barbera characters. Then we have the Flintstones Meet Rockula and Frankenstone. Includes Flintstones' New Neighbors. Yeah, so we have this VHS of the Flintstones. And finally, we have the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. I remember finding this and I was so excited to find this, to have the actual VHS tape of it. Oh, this is how I remember watching the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. And it says here on the back, which I think is funny, superior quality videotape recorded in LP mode. I remember there were different modes to record, and it was how fast the tape would go. And I figured out that. So like in one mode, I don't remember what the modes were. There was like LP, SLP, and SP maybe. And in one mode, it only gave you like 2 hours per like standard recording tape. One mode, it gave you 6 hours, I believe. Anyways, guys, there is a look at the VHS tapes that I still currently have. Let me know if you have any of these. I would love to hear what kind of VHS tapes you guys still have, if you have any. Maybe some of you don't even remember VHS tapes, which is scary to think, but it's okay, because eventually we're going to get to a point when people are like, I don't even remember DVDs, and I'm going to be like... If you guys would like me to do like a dedicated one for my Scooby-Doo VHS tapes, let me know in the comments below. I just didn't include those since I've already shown them off in my Scooby-Doo collection videos. But if you want me to do a dedicated Scooby-Doo VHS collection, let me know. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate all of y'all watching, checking out these VHS tapes I have, and going down a memory road with me. If you liked the video, hit the like button. It helps me a ton. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for more content. And if you're not following my social medias, links to those are in the description down below for easy access to you. And that's going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. And remember, you're looking real spiffy. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it. I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye. You guys are too far. I can't cover it. So, bye.